That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on to Motherwell, just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxwell, because he's absolutely different gravy.
You look as if you have just come straight away from the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate.
What happened there? What happened there?
No,
Malfunction
no,
already. Yes, in my back, your malfunction, yes. My name's Ryan Clifford and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. And join me in this night's episode is JP. JP, apart from malfunction, how are we doing tonight, big man?
Hi, mate, brand new. Good to be back on. Good to see your lovely smiling face. Do apologise for the wee technical difficulty. But I have said to Ryan before, any more of that'll be a technical knockout, not a technical difficulty. First of all, guys, I want to apologise to you as well. We're supposed to have a special guest on tonight with us, music singer and acoustic performer, Shea Doolan was supposed to be joining us tonight, but that has now been postponed and rescheduled for this coming Thursday evening at 8 p.m. So keep a wee eye out, because I think Ryan put in a wee notice on the community section, the YouTube channel. So, but yeah, Shea will be joining us on Thursday night coming, due to the fact that he's something's come up and obviously he's had to reschedule. So I do apologise that he's not here, but you're stuck with Andy Gray and myself tonight. So how are you, mate? It's good to see you.
I'm all good, mate. Obviously, they Celtic, so it's not really ideal for us. And a lot of people don't like watching international football. Shall I call it JP? Some people don't like it. They find it boring, and most people they support Celtic, don't they? A lot of fans these days don't really pay attention to international football. But like me and you like Scotland, so we do like Scotland doing well. But obviously, play. Obviously they prefer Celtic playing. So for me, I'm just looking forward to getting back into Celtic. To be honest with you, JP, I know we're playing Spain tomorrow, but I'm good. I'm missing Celtic, but mate, it's not the same watching Scotland as Celtic. You don't look forward to the games as much. So, apart from that, mate, I'm all good. How are you?
Aye, a bit similar to yourself, mate. Obviously, fortunately for me, I do like international football. I'm a big Scotland fan, as you know, Ryan. So I do tune into the games when they're on as well. One thing I will say, mate, is I actually think it's shocking that the games are on the Viaplay channel, but obviously previously used to be Premier Sports. I think our national team should be on the BBC. I think BBC Scotland should sort of hang their heads in shame with that one. I think they've missed the boat big time with that, and I really do think that they should be trying to promote our game a bit more by having the national team's games. I know you get the odd occasion, but it is on like BBC Two, it's been or BBC Scotland even. but they're normally once in a blue moon, or when pigs fly, as my ma used to say. So, but no, apart from that, mate. So, but no, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Obviously, we're back against Ross County, and aye, I'm looking forward to it, mate. And obviously, tonight we're going to have a good wee chat about Celtic players on international duty, and a wee bit about the squad depth and potential injury worries that we've got coming up as well. So, um, I'm not looking forward to talk about the injuries yet enough because I think they're starting to rack up.
Like you say, mate, in terms of TV rights, etc., I think it's bonkers and I think it's mad why they're not on national TV. You would think at least if they're going to show football on the TV, it would be the Scottish team, the national team. Because for me, it's like a lot of us need to pay for a via player, or if you're involved in other technologies, you need to try and get it on via play. And some people have not got the money to do it. Some people have not got the capabilities to do that. So they're asking fans and they're asking guys who don't go to games a lot who can't get tickets to these games. They're asking these fans a lot of hard-earned money and it's time consuming to obviously do it all. Some guys have to go online as well to go and all the guys have to go to this via play and stuff. So for me, Jai Piang, it's beneficial to put it on the Scottish TV. Be that if it's on ITV or it's on BBC or whatever it's going to be on, it should be on what you would call council telly.
Yeah,
It should be on that because it's more likely to get more views as well because if guys need to pay for it, I'm not obviously you're still paying for it through your TV license and BBC or whatever it is, you're still paying for it anyway. But when it comes to obviously paying vehicle, you need to pay for a month. So you just pay for one game, you need to get and cancel it, but you're still getting charged for that month. So I do agree. They need to look at stuff, mate. In my opinion, how to make it better because I just think it makes it a better spectacle for the fans if it's on TV and
yeah,
like you say, some people will go to that. The VR player, have no got the old Satanta. People used to have to get that as well. And now you've got the games on Celtic TV, their own VR play, their own Sky Sports, BT. You've got all these channels, and not everybody's got that. Some people have just got normal preview or whatever. So I definitely agree, mate, in terms of that. I think you could probably sit and do a podcast, but maybe you've spoke about doing an SPFL TV for the domestic TV. And
yep,
again, me and you, well, me anyway, I want to say I'm the brightest spark when it comes to maybe doing new things and stuff and thinking about things. But when it comes to football, I think I'm a sharp eye, maybe how to do things better and get things better, especially for the domestic wise. And I don't know how we can do it. I don't know. I know financially, but if people are going to subscribe to it, just say it's a tenner a month and you get, or 15 quid a month and you get every home game and away game.
hmm
That's better than having to via play Sky Sports and because let's be fair, JP, Macy's only really watch Celtic. You might be sitting in the house, maybe you're hungover on a Sunday or you're looking today on a Sunday, you're watching Man U or you watch Man City playing on a Super Sunday. Or if you like football, you watch it. But most of the time, you're more going, oh, I can't watch a game today. It's more, I can't wait to watch Celtic and you'll pay it just to watch that.
hmm
So, again, mate, you could talk about that for a long time, how to do it. Because I know what Channel 5 done at the past for England games and Channel 4 and ITV. It's just something the coverage is crazy as well. I don't like the coverage either in some of these games. But like you say, move on to Sunday for Celtic. Hopefully, guys who play for national teams don't get any more injuries because, like you say, mate, the topic really nice about injuries and squad depth and the games coming
hmm
up. And what is your thoughts about obviously in terms of the squad, mate? Obviously, we keep hammering home, sorry, about how big the squad is. We've got a good squad depth and guys can come in and play. So, what is your thoughts about these injuries? Because we've not actually heard significantly how long they're going to be, how short, what's the damage. I've not been told a lot. So, what's your thoughts on especially Maeda's injury? Because him to start, mate, we've been told now that he's come back himself to do maybe more work or more rehab here. So, what's your kind of thoughts on that one, mate?
Well, like I says, it's hard to follow you. That's why we call you Andy Gray because you obviously the way you just take off. You've took off like Emirates, sir. But no, for anybody, just before I go any further, for anybody that was wondering what Ryan was talking about, Ryan's actually out in a limb himself there. You know, when he's talking about having to watch your games via other technologies, etc. Ryan's actually, you know, he's out on his own with that. I've not got a clue what he was talking about, folks. So Ryan will be able to inform you more if you want to send Ryan a wee message or anything, he'll update you with what he was meaning there. Because I just don't know what he's on about there. But no, I'm out of the football, mate. Maeda's a bit of a strange one, Ryan. I think I think he's. I actually think he's all right. I'm going to say that now. I think he's okay. In terms of, I think there's maybe been an agreement put on that he doesn't. The two games he's been away for were friendlies with Japan. Now I know they played one and he's missed training. He's missed one, and like I says, he missed a training session and he missed the game, but he then trained himself, and then he went and trained with a physio or a fitness guy, and we seen photos of that. And then now obviously he's come home, so I think him coming home is just a mere precaution because he knows of the heavy running that we've got as a team. So I think Ryan's having some technical difficulties just now. So we'll just give Ryan a wee moment before he comes in. But no, folks, this is Ryan was saying about Maeda. I think he's made a precaution, Ryan, than anything else. I think it's more to do with the run-in we've got and how busy Celtic's schedule's going to be. I think he's maybe had a word and you know everything's going to be okay. But I think I'm getting a wee bit worried now with boys like Abada. Haskabanovic was taken off before half time in his game the other night against Bulgaria. So I'm starting to get a wee bit kind of worried in terms of you know what's going on, what's happening. It's getting to the business end of the season, and that's the last thing we need is a pile up of injuries now. I know we've not really had a lot of injuries this season because of the decent recovery the team's had and you know the way the team's been playing, but I think these injuries now might hit us at a bad time, especially when we've got so many important games coming. But obviously we'll talk about the squad size. But if Abada, Haskabanovic and Maeda are all potentially struggling with injuries, then you've only really got Jota and Kyogo at a push of putting him out wide left. Other than that, mate, James Forrest is out to the end of April, so he's going to miss these next run of games. So April's going to be a massive month for us in terms of trying to wrap the league up and progress through that semi-final. So I think this is when you need your full team, like ready to go without all these injuries. I hope some of them are not as bad as what they seem, but I was thinking the other day that maybe some of it's media driven as well. Because we've always said, mate, they love to spin a negative story regarding us. So they thrive on it and they get a kick out of it. So I think part of it could be that as well, Ryan, in terms of trying to unsettle us a wee bit. But the injuries, like I say, and we spoke about it as well, it could be a blessing for the terms of Rocco Vata or, you know, the boy Ben Summers who was on the bench at the last game, because these boys then could get an opportunity, which I think they will get towards the end of the season. When it comes to the last couple of games and maybe you've been announced as champions and should everything go to plan the way we want, then I think these guys will will you know, they'll get game time.
I think some of it could be made a difference, mate. I hope it sounds all right now. My headphones are a bit
No.
crackling there, mate. So
Ryan, there's a crackle coming for you somewhere, mate. I don't know where it is, but
is it all right now?
when you talk, there's a crackle. I don't know where it's coming from, mate.
It must just be the software, mate. But no, I do agree in terms of Maeda, mate. Maeda for me, the way he plays for us is it's vital to the press. And it's somebody, it might not be the best technically, but to me and a lot of fans, we don't think he's maybe the best technically, but some of the stuff he does diverts that, and he is very technical. So I think it just depends on. I think we're maybe looking at other guys, Abada, Jota, Hasebanovic. He's maybe not as technical as them, but I think he is still technical. To play with Celtic, you still need to be technical. So, in my opinion, I would say his high press is vital to what we want to do. Again, because of certain games, you don't really need it all the time. But in terms of games against Rangers, I think he's vital because he stops Tavernier playing. He stops him taking up, and we've seen that at the last game there. So he's maybe a guy that you want back quickly for his energy and his pace and his defending as well. It's not just going forward; it's defensively. I think Abada. I don't think his is that bad. I think he was meant to be in the squad tonight for Israel. Don't know if he's playing or not, but I know he was meant to be in the squad. But and I think obviously the other one is
he's him now. Abada came home.
I thought
Abada, he never
he
played
flying,
any. He never played any part of. No, he came home. He definitely came home. I know he came home.
I seen him in the airport. I think he was going back out today because he met Lewis Capaldi in the airport.
Right.
So I don't know if he was flying back out either day or yesterday, but
all right, okay.
If he is playing tonight, then obviously maybe that concerns no concern, and maybe they were maybe trying to make it to be worse than what it was because, like you've said, mate, the media like to thrash out that we've got injury worries and we've got struggles and but we lost 2 or 3 games and yet we're in a crisis. So nothing changes with the media in terms of that. So again, in terms of injuries, Haskabanovic, we don't know if he's fully fit or what's happened to him properly. Again, I like him. I think he's starting to come into a bit of form. I think if he comes back fully fit, he'd been a shout for playing on Sunday because I think he deserves a chance to play on Sunday for the start if he's fully fit because he's been doing really well off the bench. And I don't know what you think about him, mate, in terms of going forward and obviously next season, but I think he's probably the only Jota's a wee bit like him, but obviously he's maybe the only old school winger we've got really in the squad that as soon as he gets the ball, he's direct, he wants to go in and shoot, and he's not scared to shoot. Like I think some guys in your team like to walk it in, but I don't know if that's because of the way the manager's wanting to play. That's the way he's kind of set them up. So sometimes it's frustrating when you see him, like McGregor's got a chance to shoot. I think we spoke about it the other night. When I've got a chance to shoot and they're no shooting, you're thinking just hat a dig. If it fails, it fails. But I don't think it's majorly concerning right now. But this is, like you say, JP, talking about the top of international football. This is the one worry about international football, that some of these guys kind of pick up wee niggles and they can pick up things flying, etc. So there's loads of things that you don't really want to happen when you're away. It was similar reasons why, in a way, I'm kind of glad. Well, obviously, I'm not glad that Rogic isn't here. But when Rogic used to play, sometimes he would get back injured all the time for Australia. And you were just thinking every time he went away, he was going to get injured again. But obviously, I think as a wee bit of the time international breaks came, it is a wee bit of all right, okay, you've got to just get the season done now. You've got to wait again and then go again. So you just hope it doesn't slow any momentum or anything else. But 9 times out of 10, mate, I just can't see it happen.
No, definitely. I don't think it's going to derail us at all. But it's worrying considering you've got 2 potential free Glasgow derbies in the space of probably 3 to 4 weeks, mate. The way it's going to work out, because effectively you're looking at the split. We're probably going to be playing them either the first or second game right after the split. So that's all that's happening within the next at least 4 weeks anyway for the weekend. So you're looking at, you want your squad as strong as possible, because I know that it's all right saying what we've said before it, etc. It's the when the split's made, the fixtures came out pretty quickly. So therefore, and we've said before, like when you play Ray derbies, Ryan, you need everybody firing. You need everybody like set and everybody ready to go. It's just and you don't want to give him any momentum at all, or any thoughts that, oh, here, this mob are not at full strength. We might have a. And don't forget, prior to this international break, Ange came out and says that Moy and Iwata were struggling. So you'd already had them out. So if Moy and Iwata are still on the back, then you're adding to that wee list of injuries that we've just mentioned there as well. So you're kind of left with, like I say, especially wide players. We're going like that. We've got a lot of depth for wide players. If Abada, Maeda, and Haskabanovic are all going to be injured, and James Forrest is injured, then you're down to nobody. You're down to just Jota, and then having to maybe to play the big boy O through the middle and putting Kyogo wide left in order to try and compensate what's going on, or he needs to change his formation. So, and then you would probably, to keep the momentum in your team and keep the press and the tempo to play in rotations, you would need to play with two controllers. It's the only way it's going to work, because you can't play. You then can't play with a. You then can't play with a 10 or a 7.5 to float, because you need to compensate, because you've only got one wide player. So you effectively then could make him the free roll off your midfield. But then you would need to play with two controllers to sit in front of your back four to then allow, because Hatate's out and on, isn't he?
We've not heard the extent of his injury, but I know he's been injured anyway,
Aye, so effectively you've got that as well. So it's all ifs and buts with it though, but I really don't want to see Kyogo getting put in the left.
No.
Because he's not effective enough. And he doesn't do the same job as, like, say, your Maedas or your Jotas or Haksabanovics. I really hope the injuries haven't piled up, because I seen one of the comments, somebody tell me to calm down. I think it was Plunge maybe. He was saying to me, calm down, JP, all is fine, mate. And that's all right, very well said and done. I mean, I'm not panicking, but when you've got the injuries I've just rhymed off, Plunge, I think then you start to go, all right, hold on a minute, what do we do? Because I think it's vital part of the season to then be saying to young Rocco Vata, right, me man, you're going to need to come in and play there. But by the way, you need to hit the ground running, because then we can't take any momentum out of this team. So it's a kind of catch-22, Ryan, I think.
I think in terms of obviously change formation, I think that's something we could do. I'd like obviously we know in pre-season we're doing things and formations for Europe and stuff, so if there was no wingers available, or there was only one winger available, you could just go to basically feed it back and play Taylor and Johnson as your two wing backs, and then just play your middle and your forward. So you could kind of do that in a way. So you could. There's ways about it, but obviously you don't want to do that. You want to keep the formation, you want to keep the style of play, you want to keep the players if possible. So in terms of obviously Jota, we just hope he obviously get him wrapped in cotton wool, because you want him fully fit as well. So it'll be interesting, mate, to see how.
Haksabanovic, sorry to cut in, Ryan. Haksabanovic has actually started against Serbia tonight for Montenegro.
Right, okay, so that worries out the
window. So he's in their team tonight.
Right, so that's out the window then. He's obviously fully fit. So I'd imagine if he comes scot-free for the game tonight, then I'd imagine that he might be in contention to start on Sunday. So which I would like to start on Sunday, because I like him. I really do like him. I think next year you'll see him firing in all cylinders, and I think you'll maybe see him playing more. I think you'll see him. It's just my opinion, what I think, but I think might see him playing more next season.
Uh-huh.
But again, Hatate, he's a major worry if he is injured because he is a major player now. Maybe last season before he was very good, but couldn't do it again, and he started this season and into now, and now you're into March, and he's been brilliant. Some of his plays effortless. I think McGregor doesn't get some of the mentions because he just does it every week now, and you just expect it of him.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes McGregor goes unnoticed because he's that good and he just does the simple things. I'd probably any young Celtic player, maybe I know people say your Jotas or Haskabanovic or Tati, but see just for simpleness and keep the ball, I would just watch McGregor. Just watch him. He just glides past. It's not what he's sprinting all the time. He's just always in the right position.
Aye.
He's gliding for here. He's walking into position. He's always scanning. That's a big word now, innit? It's not looking about. It's scanning.
Scanning.
As John Collins would say, passing the move and the tempo, the scanning. But no, if I was a young fan, I think McGregor would be somebody to watch in terms of the way he goes about his bits on the park and the way he talks off the park as well. It's another thing we've seen, JP. We've not heard of people at Celtic, but every single day there's something about Rangers. Every single day. Every day. The day Alex McLeish is giving Michael Beale hints, and the only hint he's saying, Michael, son, EBT's the only way you need to do, son. It's the only way it's going to happen. But that's all we've seen. We've just seen every single day. We've just went out of business quietly, but as soon as that'll be Michael Beale end of the season. The only thing that's really come out of Celtic is the injury scares, which doesn't really seem as scary now. If Haskabanovic is playing, Maeda's back to maybe try and play on Sunday. So I think in terms of injuries, I do think it's more if you pick up the paper, you read Twitter or whatever, you read injured or he was happened, and then you find out that it might just be a niggle, but the paper like to make out it's injury scare, injury crisis, and it really might be a wee knocked an ankle or a wee muscle fatigue injury. It could be anything. So in terms of that, mate, I think it will. If there's any injuries coming up in the next few weeks, it will obviously put the squad to test.
No, definitely. We had it Angie's last season, didn't we? When Kyogo was injured and David Turnbull got injured right away, and then we were just hit with injuries left, right, and centre. Juranovic got injured. Who else was injured? Starfelt, Greg Taylor, Ralston, Carter Vickers,
Even McGregor was out, I know.
McGregor. He was out again this season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of really it's been put to test already. But I know what you're saying in terms of this squad because of the size of it now, and player for player. I think the resilience of this squad now is going to be tested. But I'd like to think we've done enough, Ryan, in terms of early on in the season up to now.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the last 2 months of the season now, so we need to get it finished and get it ticked off, get another one ticked off on Sunday and get it finished because you just don't want to give him any momentum whatsoever. And I seen something today. It was Mikey Johnson, and he played 20 games for us last season,
I wouldn't think that.
and he played in the cup final as well.
That's
Diogo
right,
scored
aye.
too.
That's right, aye.
A lot of Celtic fans don't remember that. They forget all that. You know what I mean? They tend to forget, and he mentioned that's what he said. He said because they said to him, "Do you think you're out the door?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't out the door last season." He said, "I played 20 games."
He's just getting
Said,
first team. He's just getting
just
game time.
that's it. Just for bad injuries, etc. He's now had to be loaned out to get his not just his mojo, but get that first team game under his belt again. And he's playing week in and week out. So I think obviously I know everybody's went a bit mental with his wee cameo for the Republic, but listen, he came on and he showed a lot of intense tempo and a lot of desire to go forward and beat somebody and get by people, and he was unlucky because he hit the post as well in such a quick time, you know, that he was on that park. So it was a decent wee cameo for him. It wasn't something that went against him, that's for sure. And I've just checked their team. He's not started the night for them, right enough, but I thought maybe that he might have started for them tonight because he did look promising when he came on. The Celtic fans can say whatever they like. I know the boy's talented, and nobody's going to ever tell me differently. He's technically one of the best. He's actually, see, in our team, he's actually, I remember, was it Greg Taylor's interview? And they done see that thing they do every now and again, it comes on, they put it on YouTube for us. It's called Teammates.
Aye.
And they say, like, who's got the fastest feet, who's the most technical, he wrote on the board Mikey Johnson. MJ. So, and I think it was big Jens done one as well. No Jens, it wasn't Jens, it was, what do you call him, Julian. It was before big Julian left, and he done one as well, and he wrote Mikey Johnston. So, they aren't just saying that just for the sake of it. Just, there's a boy there that might be struggling and the fans are giving him a hard time, so Mum will say things to give him a bit of confidence. Or I don't think that's the way they go about it. They were asked an honest question, and he's the person that came into their head. And I've heard like Brendan Rodgers talk about him. I've also heard Ange speaking highly about him as well. And people say, I know a manager can speak highly of you, but it doesn't mean he's going to play you. I just think there's something different with this boy, Ryan. I think this boy's been loaned out for a reason. And you heard the interview. I heard the interview when he was asked about staying at Guimaraes, and he turned around and he says it's not an option. He says I'm going back to Celtic. He says the Celtic managers already told me I'm going back there in the summer. That's not for any reason, Ryan. So, and people are probably here watching us now and they think to themselves, he's going to have to go something to get in that team. But what then happens if, just say for talking sake, Celtic sell Abada? What happens then? Do you know what I mean? Right away, there's a spot opened up straight away for him. So, football's a funny game. It can change very, very quickly, and so can your squads. And I think if Mikey Johnson comes back and he's firing the way he's showed there in Guimaraes so far, and then in that wee cameo for the Republic, I think the guys like maybe Hatate and, I don't think he had a proper chance to play with these guys, but I think with some of these guys run about him, mate, I think Mikey Johnson could be a tremendous player for anybody. I really do, with genuine quality running in beside him.
I think to get similar to James Forrest, I might not be his biggest fan, but to come through Celtic's youth system and be here for all this time, you've got to have a special talent to get into Celtic's first team and play, and playing not just a few games but consistently. Mikey Johnson, I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of raw talent still to iron out. Again, maybe being in Portugal, it'll help his game because the fans have took to him, the clubs took to him. He could come to as a different player. It could be body wise, he could be better. Again, as well, the lifestyle in Portugal, the climate, it's a lot better here. It could help his body as well to recover. So he could come back a better player. I've still got my judgments on him because he has got a lot of talent, but some of the games I've seen him play in, he was wasteful. Decision making wasn't good enough, and so he was. But again, some of the games he was put in. I think we came at Ibrox when Rodgers put him up front, which was ridiculous for Rodgers. That was terrible for Rodgers. He kind of basically put him under the bus by doing that. He can't do that. That's bonkers. So. And I know Rodgers might say he had to. He didn't. You could put somebody, an experienced guy up there. That was just, I thought that was bonkers. But he's played a good part of Celtic winning trophies. He knows what it means to play here.
You can't say he's a boy anymore either. You can't say he's a development type player because he's been there long enough.
I think he's 23 now.
I think he's 23. So, he's nearly 24.
So he's not a young boy anymore. Obviously still a boy, but he's no this potential superstar nor a potential wonder kid.
Yeah.
He should be able to come into Celtic and be an established first team player. And
Yep.
if he can, I think next year might be the last year he's got a chance of doing it, because there's only so long as well that I think he'll think to himself, if I can't get in this year, I'll need to go elsewhere, maybe abroad or whatever, maybe try something new, because as much as we're a big club and you want to win trophies and you want to play under this manager and some of these players, I think from a personal point of view, if you're not playing JP as much as you want to be there, you need to go for your own career and your own development. So,
Yeah.
and he, like you said, he's only 23, so does he want to sit on the bench at 24, 25 at Celtic? I doubt it. I think he's probably made aspirations and that is to get in the first team and hopefully progress his career. I'll leave judgment to him for next year in terms of if we see him again after pre-season, if he doesn't go away or if he stays or whatever. But I've seen some of the highlights in some of his games in Portugal and he's played well from what I've seen. I can't say I've seen every bit of the games. I've just seen snippets and I've seen highlights, and he's looked good. He's looked
Some of
quick.
his goals have been very good by now.
And the fans there have took to him. I'm not saying he's a fan's favourite, but they've took to him, and that's why they've asked him, is he staying? He's like, I can't stay. I've been told to go back. I'm not here for a loan. So
what was it the Portuguese media have labelled him already? The mini Messi, was it?
The mini Messi, they called him.
Mini Messi, they're calling him, aye.
And I know people might laugh at that, but
he's taller than Messi, so I don't know why they're saying that enough.
He does look, when I seen him against Ireland, he looks a bit more bulkier. He looks like he's strengthened. He looks a bit more conditioned.
His upper body looks as if it's developed a bit more, doesn't it?
That can only help him. So I'll leave judgment for Mikey for the start of the season when he comes back. But in terms of my opinion, I think he's got a lot to prove in terms of committing to be an established first team player. You can go on loan and date, but you need to date at Celtic, because playing again, Gomara is a decent club. They've got good fans and they've got a decent stadium, and they play against Porto, Benfica, Braga. So it is a bit of a competitive league he's playing. It's no
Sporting Lisbon as well.
It's not a very poor league. He's still playing a decent league with decent standards of players. So he is going to gain experience, but I think it will be in terms of if he can stay fit. I think that's the main thing. If he stays fit, then he's got a chance because the talent's there. But I do feel he's going to have to go a bit more, especially consistency, to play every week with Celtic. But like you say, if the manager, if Ange didn't like him or he wanted him off, he would have set him on loan and just say, look, whatever you want, just give him and just let him go. Similar situation with Barkas. There's no loan, there's no buyback option. He's coming back in pre-season, he said as well, apparently. No heard anything about Ayeti. I think he'll be maybe in the summer, then he'll be away again. But again, Ayeti's stats have improved. I've seen his stats. No, really, his goal scoring hasn't improved dramatically. But in terms of the way he's playing, the way he's doing things, his levels are getting up. So that's a good thing for him as well. So in terms of that, mate, the loan players, I think people will be surprised. See, like, I'm not going to judge Mikey yet because I want him to be fully fit, and then I'll go, right, now we've seen him fully fit, right? But in terms of what he's done before, he's done well in some games, and some games he's been missing and injuries. So I think I'm leave judgment fully to him to next season. And I'm the same with Barkas, JP, as much as it was horrendous. I'm not going to lie, it was horrendous. You can't really bleep that out. You can't ask it that out, like a lot of things in life these days. You can't, you can only see. But the guy just looked absolutely shattered of confidence. He looked scared. He looked like it was just, I don't know if it was too big for him. It was just a situation where it was just, I don't want to be here now. It was just like he says, I know he came out and says he really recommends Celtic, but I think that was because at that time, what was happening and the COVID stuff, and he couldn't socialise. Even Scott Brown said it in an interview with Keith Jackson. He says it was hard for us with the new signings. We couldn't integrate with them. We couldn't see them. We were training in twos and threes, and the only time we really seen them was on the park because we were split up in the dressing room. So people might say that's not a big thing, but I think it is a wee bit of a big thing. I do think it's the social aspect and the camaraderie and the dressing room being together. I think that's a big thing in football. I think if you're good off the park and I'm not saying you need to be best pals, but if you're good off the park with guys, I think it helps you on the park. But I think the loan situations with some players will be interesting, JP, to see what happens in pre-season. which I
Aye,
think it'll
definitely,
benefit.
mate. Especially the ones that are. I'll be honest with you. In terms of Ayeti, I think Ayeti's days are numbered. Definitely,
Mhm.
I think he's potentially out the door. I would say probably the Barkas. You don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's going to come back and play, or I definitely know there's no buy clause as well in his contract with his loan deal with Utrecht. So there's that aspect to it as well. So you just don't know. And then there's Mikey Johnson, who's out on loan. I know, like, say, the young boy Robertson, he's been like go to Fleetwood. You've got Adam
Montgomery.
Montgomery. I couldn't mind his surname there. Please forgive me,
That's why I'm
Adam,
the gaffer,
if
mate.
you're watching us at all. Aye. Aye, every now and again when
Aye.
I'm maybe not feeling it myself, one of them ones.
Aye.
No, Adam Montgomery, that's right. He's at St Johnson now, so we don't know about him either. Again, another one's Big Boy Scales at Aberdeen. He's another one out on loan. So big boy, big goalkeeper and all. Big boy, it was there in Helsinki for about 18 months.
Hazard.
Connor Hazard, he's another one. You don't know about him. Toby Oyewemi's been put out on loan as well, the big goalie. So
I'm glad you. I'm glad you said that name. It wasn't me.
That's why I'm a gaffer, mate.
Aye. That's why you. That's it, and it swings back to me.
And it's JP running
Aye.
away from the losers.
See, 2 minutes time, I'm going to say I've got a boat.
Aye. And a monkey snapped your area and ran away to the west.
Wait there, I'll wait and tell that one. JP, you better tell that.
Aye.
Brilliant.
Aye. Birth 6 comfortably, all singing, all dancing.
Brilliant.
But you don't know, in terms of these loan signings, mate, you don't know where they're going to come back. And the ones that are out on loan, you don't know whether they're going to come back and play. Only Ange knows that already. And I think Ange is already well underway in terms of his summer recruitment as well, is what we understand. So if he's buying other players, then you would expect other players will need to move out the door. But I do think one or two of this current crop of players will be sold on as well, I think. Ange's already said it at the AGM meeting and stuff. You need to progress the squad, and in order to do that, you need to sell players. And it's players that we probably go, oh, he's one of my favourites, or he's one of my favourites, or he's one of mine. So it's a kind of catch-22, mate, on that one.
I've got some comments coming in, mate, as well. We've kind of battled through some good chat there, mate. So Patrick says we were playing with Moffat etc. last season and we still won league, remember. Obviously that's injuries etc. JP. So again, that's quite a good comment, I would say, JP. Obviously I think the St Johnstone game, I think it was due to COVID issues with Barkas in goals, and I think that was a game Dawson played up front, or he came on, sorry,
Yep, that's right,
when he played. But I think Beaton played at the back that game, I'm sure, as well. I don't know if that's correct, but he played that game. So we were kind of that game, and we won 3-1. I think that game, we comfortably won that game. We done really well that game. So it does prove that even last year, when we didn't have the biggest squad compared to this year in terms of quality, I think it just shows you that we can we can cope. Another comment as well from James Robertson. Other teams have to avoid injuries as well. We will be okay. Don't worry. The media want us to think all is not well, and we'll work it out. I think that's true, James. I think similar to what me and JP have said there. I think JP is kind of a lot of the media. The media, they like to put a wee backburner on Celtic now and again.
Aye. No, I would agree with that, mate. They're about it. We know that. We've seen it many times. Any opportunity to have a go at us for either, whether it be a result or you know, a potential new manager incoming that they don't know about, so they just slag us off, and various parts of the media saying it would be the new Pedro Caixinha of Scottish football, and you know he was to be sacked by Christmas, and various parts of the media saying that Celtic get knocked out in his first sort of Champions League game was catastrophic. It was a catastrophe. I think it was that Liam McLeod that had interviewed him for the sports scene. This is the same guy, by the way, who was on sports scene with James McFadden at one of the games, and he didn't actually even know the score. And James McFadden says, "No, it's 1 each." He said, "No, it's 1-0." He said, "No, it's 1 each." I think it was mid. Just say for talking sake, it was Queen of the South. He went, "No, Queen of the South scored just before half time," and Liam McLeod's looking at him as if, "But what's going on?" As if, "I ain't bother." Then they all started laughing very awkwardly, as if, "Aye, right, okay, I've just got that there. That's 1 each." So this is the same guy that can't even pay attention when he's at the game to what's going on about him. So, and you've got other various, the media go through the process and do what they need to do, and it just sometimes it doesn't surprise me where I'm lying at all because of the way they are.
It's like you say, when they can't actually visualise what they're watching, so what chance have we got of writing a good headline? You can't, like you say, some of these guys are actually watching the games, so, and they're not getting a good opinion, so how can they then go write articles or talk to managers about their stuff? So, in my opinion, that me and you don't like to talk about it in personal wise, but when it comes on here, you've got to mention it because I don't think it gets mentioned enough in terms of the backlash and media like to put in Celtic in terms of injuries, or I guarantee you now, Ange will probably be linked to Spurs, which I can probably understand.
He's no. I seen it
No,
earlier
but
on. He's not even on the short list now.
is it
He's
not?
not even there.
Right,
No,
so
because it's Nagelsmann and another two guys. One of them's Pochettino, and the other one's I can't even remember the name of the guy. It's no Ange anyway.
yeah,
And
that's
apparently he's number two, Stellini. He's getting it to the end of the season at least.
he's
So
signing there. So again, that's probably one of the first jobs that they're not even trying to put him towards. I've always said if a manager gets linked with a big job, fair play because he deserves it, because he should be getting looked at by these clubs because he's done very well to earn to be talked about at that level. But
yep.
the way, like you say, we've got a new recruitment staff and stuff, so
Yep.
there's a lot of recruitment going on in the background as well. We've seen as well today there's a new announcement on recruitment as well. So he's not here. He wouldn't sanction no deals if he wasn't going to be here. Because he wouldn't want to employ guys or tell them. I know he's not employing them, but employing them to part of his system if he wasn't want to be here. Because he can't go and sell them the dream. Listen, this we're going to do at Celtic. It's going to help me, and then in the summer go, right, mate, thanks for 3 full months. Cheerio. So, in my opinion, I think it's all good that way. And in terms of obviously, and I'll be coming with Joseph. Sorry, hail JP. Agree the boy never got a chance from Mikey Johnson. Injury prone, not a chance to recover. This is his time for Mikey Johnson.
I totally agree with that, Joseph. To be honest, mate, I've been saying it for months. I don't think the boy get much of a chance at all. But then I can't. It must just seem like that to some of us because, like he said himself in an interview today, he played 20 games for his last season, mate. That's getting more than enough of a chance, to be honest, mate. You know, he's 20 games out your 38 game season. That's a lot of football. So there's only roughly, give or take, with the cup game, and he played in the League Cup final for his last season as well. So as much as we could probably say here, you know, he's not played a lot of football, or he's not done this, or he's not. That's a lot of football. 20 games for playing for Celtic's a lot of football, especially for one of the development players to come up and try and make a grade at stadium, etc. It's a lot of football, Joseph. So. But it might just feel like that to us. Like I says, I'm on that boat with these guys. I feel as if the boy hasn't had a fair crack at it, and I feel as if he's no. He gets a bit of a raw deal with the fans. I think he's many of our supporters. He's scapegoat I really do. I think he's a lot of scapegoats, and I think that some people just need to, take a breath when it comes to Mikey, and think about, what exactly is going on, because we don't know we're not privy to what's actually going on behind the scenes. We don't know what the boys went through, and as far as going with what he's talking about, etc., he's went through a lot of bad problems, with his own health and things that like I says before. There's a story about Mikey that Mikey was flung into the team at 17, and Mikey hadn't developed properly. So Mikey was growing, but he was, Brendan sort of put him in the first team, and the physical part of it, Mikey struggled to cope with because his body wasn't developed properly, and the physicality of the training to recovery. You've got to remember, guys, I don't know if anybody on here's, me and Ryan have played the game, we done all right. I'd like to think we done all right. Obviously, we didn't have a chance to play for our boyhood heroes, but we done okay. We won medals, we won trophies with teams that we played with, etc. But um, we we know in terms of training, we know in terms of recovery, we know in terms of ready to go again. You're only human. It doesn't matter if you're like, the only difference between us and them is they're getting paid fortunes and we're no, or we weren't at the time, Ryan. But we're only human. So if we had all the care and all the work, you picture what we'd have been like if we'd like 5, 6 personal trainers working with us in a Celtic training field every day, or working with us in a recovery session, or we'd have been flying as well. But again, it all comes under your growth as well, and you know your body mass and everything else, and then your eating habits on top of that, your sleeping, Joseph, your sleep pattern's not right. It could be down to as well. Like you've one bad argument with your partner or your family or anything that can impact your game. That can impact your next time you enter that park. We get dead frustrated as fans because when we get there, we want them to do that well, but we don't take into consideration what might be actually happening in their lives. And I think sometimes now doing this and speaking on here, Ryan, we're a bit more privy and the know-how of what things might occur in behind the scenes, and we've been privileged to get to understand that information through a couple of different sources that we now have. But when you are in that light and you're having to train hard and work hard, and it might just be that wee bit that gets to you as well, and you might start doubting yourself. So Celtic signed Jota last season. Mikey right away might be going, this guy's caviar, man. Right away, that might be Mikey's mindset in the moment. So that might have affected him. Celtic signed Abada, and he goes for a jugular, he scores goals, etc. So Mikey might be, that might be in his seed as well, going, hey, this boy's unbelievable. They're relentless. So he might have found it tough to up his game in the wee training moments. You just don't know. We don't know. We don't know the actual, you know, the ins and outs of how it boiled down and the path that he went down prior to him being out on loan. But I agree. I see your comment there, Joseph, in terms of him being protected. I kind of felt that with him. It was like him and Ralston were kind of thrown into the lion's den. If you remember right, they kind of made their debut together against St Johnstone at Celtic Park. It was like a damp squib, Brian, because the league was finished, and I think it was might have been one of the last Ronnie Delia games or whatever, and they kind of made a wee cameo, and I think Mikey played that game, and I don't know if I'm sure he scored. In fact, I'm sure he scored one of the goals, or he set up Paddy Roberts. I can't remember how it worked. But then when Brendan came in, he got a couple of more games, and Brendan tried to play him, but again, it's all down to your body, mate. He just might not have been ready. And I see another comment here for John saying he's 23. Um, he's lucky to still be there. John, you're absolutely spot on. I totally agree. But what I'll come back to you with that one is every one of them are lucky to be there. We're Celtic. they're lucky to represent that club in this badge. Because, and if they don't feel that, then they're in the wrong, they're sort of in the wrong, they're in the wrong duty ring, they're in the wrong job, mate. But you get that with this team, Ryan. You get that, as you said, mate, the camaraderie, you get it, mate. They know the cause they're playing for. And I think Callum McGregor's been instrumental in that, Ryan. I really do. I think he's been instrumental in, like, especially the foreigner type guys coming in. And, like, your wee Kyogos and all that. You see how humble these wee guys are now to be there. And I don't know about to have a go at him for his height there at all, but he is. I mean, he's built like a jokey. So he's built like the side of a fiver, isn't he? There's nothing to with Kyogo. I reckon if I stood up and Kyogo stood up, he's needing a couple of booster seats to get to me. You know, he's not that tall, but he's. That's how I said we. For anybody that say that's a bit disrespectful, JP. I'm quite tall for anybody that maybe doesn't have not seen me in person. So that's how I said we, because obviously Kyogo's smaller than me. But I done a good there, Ryan. I've took a wee a leaf out of Andy Gray. It's hanging about with him too much. It's got me ranting here. So I'm just I'll let you back in, Andy, and you can strut your stuff, as they say. Talk about strutting our stuff. Talk about strutting stuff. I wonder where he is tonight.
Big only fans.
Big only fans. I wonder where he is tonight. He's been off a quiet the last couple of days, hasn't he? He's
he's been quiet.
Not really heard much from him. That's when you know the subs are doing well, mate. You know what I mean? He must be doing quite well with that. With his shows now he's doing.
I think that's the new software he's got, the new cameras, and I think he's been trying to check them out. Know what I mean?
Aye.
I think
they've got an extended zoom and all that on them now as well. I've heard there's a couple of belters in there. Apparently doesn't even need to go out his seat now, and you can see every angle in his room now. Apparently that's the new cameras that he's got. So there you go.
A wee comment from Andy Curry, new to the podcast and enjoying him. Hail, lads. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for tuning in, mate.
Cheers for joining us, Andy.
Thanks
for joining us, mate. I'm really sorry if you heard my rant there, Andy. No, I'm not normally known for doing any big rants. It's my man. It's to the right hand side of me on your screens that normally does AV rants, mate. But thanks very much for taking the time to join in, mate. Appreciate it.
The wee comment, Shelley says it's one each. I think we're at Celtic Rangers. The females. That's quite good. That's quite good to know. That's a league game, I'm sure.
Are they playing Rangers tonight?
Aye.
Right, okay. Because I think they beat Rangers no long ago, didn't they?
Aye, beat them. I'm sure they must have part of it as well, didn't they?
Yeah, and just as well, I was chatting there, I also had a wee check. They talked about Celtic on international duty. Carol Starfelt's actually on the bench for Sweden tonight, and they're beating Azerbaijan 3-0 as we speak.
That's good he's on the bench, because it means he should be fresh as well for Sunday. So, but I kind of agree with John in terms of Mickey Johnson. I think he'll know himself that Ryan's come in, and I do think he's lucky to be there in sense that he's not had the best. Obviously, he's played games, but maybe his talent's there, but he's not been able to show it as much, i.e. due to injuries. And like we've said, JP, when you talk to professionals or guys who played the game or guys who are in the game, you've been a bit privileged in this, and what I think we are anyway in terms of some information we've got, and they tell you that just because you've had a bad game, it's not really just on your ability. It could be anything. It could be anything that's maybe there'd be no privilege to know as fans.
That's a game finished for the women.
Is it finished? Right, okay.
Yeah, so finished one each. So I think that's a point for the Celtic ladies, and the Celtic ladies are now sitting second in that league with 57 points behind Glasgow City, who are on 65, and the Rangers women's team are on 56 points. So I think they've overtook them as well. I'm not too sure. I think they were level points. I think, but now they've overtook them for the last couple of games. So there's
that's good. That's good.
A wee celebration.
Fucking yes, man.
Aye. But in terms of Mikey Johnson, I think for me it's just to keep him into pre-season and see how he goes. But I do think he's, I wouldn't say lucky, but I would say that I can maybe agree with John. I think he's maybe lucky still to be there in terms of he's not really been explosive as maybe what we thought when he was coming in. But again,
Yeah.
I think that might be due to injuries. I think maybe next year, if he's no at it, then I think it could be his last year at Celtic personally. I think he's got one more chance to prove his worth and prove he can play consistently without injury, because with this Celtic team, if they're going to get injured all the time, I don't think you can play at this club, because we need a body fit. We need a body fit for every game, because the way we play, it's quick and it's high intensity, and you can't really be having knocks. And I think that's the good thing about the squad, JP, especially going into the next few games, is if we do get some injuries, we have got the guys to come in, and especially at the back, you've got Kobayashi who can come in if we need be, etc. So you have got guys to come in, similar to maybe with O'Neill's team. They had a decent bench, right? But you look at our bench. Our bench is probably one of the best benches I've ever seen at Celtic.
Yeah.
It's not just the depth. It's if you bring on Haskebanovic or you take Joe off, you're not really decreasing the team. You're not stopping momentum. If you put on with Kyogo, you maybe know as the same quality, but you're still bringing on somebody that can score you a goal, or Russell Ferrer's about and do a job. So there's loads of things in terms of the squad, and I think this five sub rule, JP, as much as people don't like it, it's 100% giving us a major advantage, because if it is free, you've still got the capability of bringing 3 quality players, but 5, an extra 2 subs, in my opinion, mate, I think it does give a wee edge in the last maybe 15-10 minutes of a game.
Oh, definitely, mate. You're killing teams, because when you've got 5 subs and you're bringing on, even some games, you're bringing on guys like Matt O'Reilly, Abada, Hatate when they're on the bench. The rest of the league don't have that depth. They don't have that quality. So that's what Derek McInnes mentioned, wasn't it, when he was talking about the game at Parkhead before the Cup game. And he says, I looked along and they were bringing on subs. He says, and I saw Abada and Hatate and O'Reilly, they were all coming off the bench. And you're like, my God, man. Like, he says, and I felt like saying to Ange, he's a breaker. He says, I felt like going out to say to Ange and John Kennedy, Connie, he's a break. Like, my goodness. Do you really need to bring him on? Even Turnbull, I mean, he's another man that comes off the bench and can make an impact. So, but that's the thing as well. Our finishers are coming on now and they're making sudden impact straight away. They're scoring goals. I mean, I don't know how many goals. I read a stat recently and I can't remember what it was. And it was today with our finishers coming off the bench to play and make an impact. And it's like we've got one of the highest percentages of goals scored because of it. So I think I agree with James. I've just seen his comment there about Ange, Ange knowing what was going to, Ange knew this was going to happen. That's why he's built the squad so robustly to play so that we can use the 5 subs to our advantage. Because that's the thing as well, Ryan. It's absolutely killing teams. See teams like St Johnstone and Ross County and, your St Mirrens, etc. at Celtic Park, when they've put a lot into the game, trying to maybe stop you from playing, and then you go and make 5 subs. It just throws your tactics right out the window. Because then you're bringing guys on like Hatate who can thread the ball through the eye of a needle. And so, no, as I say, long may it continue. I think as long as Ange is there, mate, it will continue. Because we never stop, mate, as he says, and as we know, and like I says, it's only going to bode well for us moving forward. Because all the boys all our bodies and everything are all used to it now. They're all used to the training. That's why even the subs that come on, Ryan, they're all ready to play. You're not seeing any of them miles off it, or Keelik's miles away, man. He's no kicked a ball for. I mean, the one that you probably say looked miles off it, and that's just merely down to game time when he got to game, is probably Tony Ralston. But again, mate, that's another one why the reserve league isn't there anymore. It's hampering us, because had the reserve league been there, we wouldn't be having this problem because these boys would be match ready to come in and play.
No, I agree. It's something I'm massive on, and yourself, mate. We've spoke about it probably every single podcast about bringing the reserve league back. I think they've got to do it. I know they're bringing it back in some capacity, but Celtic are not involved in it. For what we're hearing, so I think the reserve league's a massive thing. It used to be good in the past. It was good for experience, guys come back from injury, and like you said, if Ralston is playing 2 or 3 games for reserves, then you're going to get a fitter, sharper Ralston coming out for the cold than just no playing at all. And you're not really going to moan at him for misplacing passes because he's sharp. I do believe that Ralston is a second or third choice. I don't think he's going to be Celtic's right back personally. I think Johnson's here now, and I was a bit unsure of Johnson when he first came in. Would he be able to step in Juranovic? Because I know Juranovic gets some stick off some fans for maybe losing a few goals, but in terms of his full quality, he's shown it now in Berlin. He's playing a bit more now. He's doing very well, and for me, Juranovic was top. I think he is top. But Johnson defensively is very sound. Maybe attacking wise, maybe next year might see him doing a bit more in terms of getting by people and stuff. But I think in terms of Johnson, mate, I like him a lot. I think in terms of the squad wise, mate, I think we're okay in terms of players wise. As long as we don't get a lot of injuries, then I think we'll be fine, mate. And as long as no more injuries happen during the international break, I don't think we'll have any cause for concern.
Mikey Johnson made an appearance tonight as well, Ryan, for against France. He came off the bench in the 77th minute. But France have won the game 1-0. And Haksabanovic was taken off just as I'll put up. Shelley mentions it as well. He was taken off after 75th minute. It's not an injury, Shelley. No, I just went into it earlier now. I read a wee bit about it, so he's fine. He just got took off for them to try and make a tactical tweak to get them back into the game. They're 1-0 down, and it looks like it's going to finish that way. This is good, isn't it? It's sort of Sky. Unbelievable, Jeff. You asked me who was subbed. I'll do a Chris Kamara, but I don't know.
The unrestricted live flash goal show.
The unrestricted. Exactly. By the way, that could be a wee idea moving forward, couldn't it?
Aye. Goal flash.
Although I don't think we've got because I think we'd be stumped because I don't think we've got a lot of Paul Merson, have we?
No.
We've got a Charlie Nicholas. We've got Big Baza. He can do the chat. Serbia have made it 2-0 against Montenegro, so their wee tactical change hasn't worked. But we've got Big Baza McCandless. He can be the Charlie Nicholas. He can fall into that. We've got Big Jason. He can be Big Alan McInally. He's got a good personal friend of mine. So he can be him.
He's got a lot of personal friends on some dodgy websites.
You can be Andy Gray, and I'll just be me.
I'm Brian.
I'm Brian.
I'm Brian.
We'll do that. We'll get a video edited.
I'm Brian.
If MD puts in the comments, you're bad by the way. If MD puts in the comments, I'm Chris Boyd, right? I don't want to hear
it. No, but I agree with you, mate, in terms of the reserve league. I do think it's got to. I know they're talking about extending the pyramid system and doing other things to it. It's not really helping the coach teams in terms of the guys who can't play. Don't to play, they can't play in it if they're at a certain age, etc., rather than the first team. So there's got to be ways they can do to help guys who are not playing, because you can't send every player out on loan. So they've got to be sitting on the bench, and if you can train all you want. You know yourself, JP, and I might know myself. I was the bench quite a bit for some teams sometimes, and you can train so much and keep sharp, but if you're not playing, it's night and day. You can be fit as hell. You can maybe be healthily and you can look well and you can be fit, mentally you can be fit, but if you're only getting 5-10 minutes here and there, 15 minutes, and you're not even in, sometimes you're in the stands, maybe in your house watching it, you're not going to get momentum. You're not going to be fully fit to come in out of the cold. And like you say with Ralston, when he was playing, he looked sharp, he was doing okay. But then if you're missing for 3 or 4 games and then you're put back in again, it does take a bit of momentum out you. So I kind of agree on that, mate. I don't think a lot of people personally would have a lot of opinions to say not to the reserve league again, because I do think it's needed for the fitness and the sharpness. And in terms of, as well, for maybe a big games coming up and guys need maybe 90 minutes or half an hour to get them to a bit of sharpness, fitness, play them in a game like that. But again, mate, we can sit all night and talk about that, because I know me and you're big on it. I know a few other people I know are big on it as well. And again, it's something I think they've got to maybe try and get sorted if they can. But overall, mate, hopefully Scotland they get a good result. I know some fans don't like Scotland, but I hope they get a good result tomorrow. But going forward into Sunday, mate, and the rest of the last few days of the month, mate, what's your thoughts the last few days of the month, mate, going forward?
Well, I'm looking forward to obviously Celtic getting back. Obviously, I'll watch the Scotland game tomorrow. Like I say, I do follow Scotland as well. I'm a Scotland fan as well as a Celtic fan, so I'll be watching Scotland tomorrow. I don't really hold out a lot of hope for us tomorrow. We're up against a really good Spain side with a lot of quality in it, a lot of young quality progression. So I think even though we're at home, I think we'll be lucky to even get a draw if we're lucky. If we beat them, then I reckon I'll be doing, if you want to come up and bring a camera with you, mate, I'll be doing cartwheels all along that street.
I know. I'll tell you, by the way, see if we beat the big man's only fan subs will be going sky high, man.
Oh, he'll be doing half an hour shows and everything, so he will tomorrow night.
There'll be a lot of quickies tomorrow night.
Him and Big Andy Considine will be running around a pole singing I Can Boogie.
Aye. Oh,
with his Pat Sharp bag on again. Get Big Jace to put his cardigan on again. He'll be a double of Mrs. Brown.
Aye. Aye.
Standing there like that. That's nice. You're all laughing because you've seen him before in practice.
I'm saying nothing. I will not be paying for headphones either, so I'm not listening.
Aye. Looking for a bevy trolley.
Aye.
You're not supposed to drink your own. What are we drum, son?
Aye.
But moving forward, mate, I'm looking forward to Celtic coming back and obviously getting back into it, because you want to just try and get the league wrapped up, Ryan, as quick as. You want to try and do it as soon as you can. And by early in April, we've got a chance to really put some pressure on them. So I'm looking forward to that. Dingwall's one that you need to tick off and get that and done with, because then it's the last time you're going up there this season. So, aye, as I said, it's about ticking the games off one by one like a calendar now, mate. So, but no, I'm looking forward to it, because I think we could have a belter of a finish to the season, and that's why it's so great being a Celtic fan, mate. You're always 9 times out of 10 you're always involved at these, trophy celebration days or trophy ceremony days or whatever. And like I say, and we've spoke before, it's Celtic's only threat is Celtic.
Yep.
So, but as I say, it's been lovely chatting to you again, mate. What was your thoughts moving forward?
Exact same as you, mate. Just try and tick every game off, get 3 points, and just try and get the league wrapped up as soon as we can, because again, they're playing in front of us again in the weekend. So again, the pressure's on. I want to say it's pressure, but you've got a wee bit of onus of having to then go and win, because you don't want them to catch any glimpse, because you know what's going to be like, JP. If we get beat or draw a game, it's going to be, that's them back, that's Celtic, the bottle's gone, and they're going to come back, and you don't want to give anybody any glimpse at any hope. So we just keep doing what we're doing, mate, and then we go against them in the 8th of April, and then you win that, and the league's finished. The league's done.
Aye.
You win that at Celtic Park. No matter what anybody says, you win that, the league's done. If you get a draw, just about done, because they need to win. I think they'll go all out. Obviously, we'll talk about that as the days and week goes on. But I think you beat Ross County, and it's basically just a go on and beat Rangers. And if you do that, basically, I know I'm no Ange, but your team top would be you win this, the league's finished, boys.
I know. I think you've got your jumper on, but whether your hands or no.
I genuinely do believe it's as simple as that, JP. If you beat Ross County, again, if me's a manager, that's why I'm not a manager, but my team top would just be, listen, you win the day, boys, the league's finished. Simple as
Aye.
that. I don't need to say anything else as a manager. I don't
No.
even need to say anything else. You win the day and you're just about in the line. Obviously, technically, I know, but in terms of fixtures, etc., you kind of are, because you're not going to lose 45 games within the space of 3 to 4 weeks. It's not going to happen. So I'm the same as you, mate. Tick every game off and then just go for there, mate. Because again, hope Scotland day win and hope everybody stays healthy and maybe knocks and we come back for training Wednesday, Thursday, and we're back to go for Sunday and all 3 points at Dingwall, which will be a hard game. It always is.
Aye.
Especially the first 15-10 minutes, you try and start shooting, waste time and kick you off the park and play the long ball and the low block. But we're good enough now to understand that, and we know what's going to come. But again, please subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I'm really sorry tonight about if there's any technical issues. Me and JP's really frustrated by it, but it's just one of the things that's happened. No normal like this, it's just unfortunate it's happened. Sorry if it's impacted the viewing, but we're really sorry. It's not going to happen again. It's just one of these wee issues that's happened, unfortunately. But please, if you like the content, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the wee red bell on your YouTube. Tick that and you'll get every live we put on or any wee updates we do on the channel, i.e. videos, or myself and JP type in the wee community bit. If you want to keep ahead of any news, any updates or events, it'll be in the community page. We're also on Facebook. You can get on Facebook called Celtic Unrestricted View. Myself and JP are also on Facebook if you want to be chat with us, if you want as a friend, or message on the page. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, and every other platform in terms of Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can get us on there. If you want
I've
to
just
get us
put
on
our
Twitter,
Twitter handles.
if you want to
there.
get us on Twitter for a follow or a message about Celtic, or if it's mental health, if you had a bad day, anything at all, me and JP will happily talk to you. We might see more bad bully Celtic boys here. We hate Rangers and stuff. We hate the referees, but in terms of off the podcast, I like to think we're very approachable and happy-go-lucky guys. So we all struggle in life. If it's just a bad day you want to have a chat with us, then we're happy to talk to you. Myself and JP have had a few before, so we'll happily do it again. And as long as people like the content, please subscribe us. I guess, as JP says, can on a Thursday. That will be happening. That's be scheduled to Thursday. Again, sorry it didn't happen tonight, but
Anybody that wants to know more about him, his name's Shea Doolan, and you can find out a wee bit about him. His music's on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, anyone in music. He does a lot of Celtic songs, and he's from Liverpool. So Shea will be joining us on Thursday night to give us a lowdown about his music. I'll try and sweet talk him into playing a wee tune for us while we're on live. Don't know if he'll go for it right enough, but we'll soon see. But like I says, guys, clicking the subscribe button, not only is it free to do it, and not only will it give you notification about when we go live, it'll also keep the page busy as well and allows us to bring this sort of content to you guys as well. To allow me, myself and Ryan to get some guests on for you to listen to other people's stories as well as, listening to us chatting all the time as well. So we really enjoy doing it. We like to think you guys enjoy doing it because you regularly tune in with us. And then obviously moving forward in terms of the goal rush as well, we'll progress that forward as we go, and then next season it'll get more interesting for you guys as well, because I really want to be sticked with it next season, and in terms of bringing you guys in and getting involved with that. so that we can start laying on some prizes for you guys to win. We'll start doing me incentives, etc. as we go. So lots more coming up with the channel moving forward. Sorry, Ryan, I just wanted to add that wee bit in as well. Is there anything else you want to add, mate?
All good, mate. I'm all good.
All good. Well, again, everybody, thank you very much for taking the time to join in with us. Again, Ryan, thanks for coming on and listening to us. Or should I say, I'll be thankful I've come on and listened to you. Like you says, Andy Gray likes to talk. But everybody else, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your comments as well. Unfortunately, we can't put every one of them up because there's just that many. But we do see them. So don't please don't feel disheartened that, you know, if we've not mentioned you, or because that's not the case. We do see them. We do see your comments. And obviously we take your points on board. And sometimes if we don't even put your comment up, sometimes we'll just talk about your point rather than putting you up on the screen. But yeah, we don't ignore anyone at all. We are very friendly, as Ryan says, and we are very approachable. So please, anybody that wants to come forward and want to have a chat with us, please do so. But as the two Ronnie says, well, it's a good night from me.
Good night from me.
See you later. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on to Motherwell, just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxo, because he's absolutely different gravy.